Okay, DJ. So if you haven't heard, R. Kelly was found guilty today of racketeering and sex trafficking. I guess there are 8 charges total, and he could be found guilty of more charges. But according to the analysts on the news, just this one charge, which is kind of a blanket charge that covers a lot of things the prosecutors came up with, he could spend the rest of his life in prison. What does this mean for us and R. Kelly music? There are a couple of different schools of thought on this. One is that you should separate the music from the person, because the music didn't do it, the person did it. And if people love the music, why punish them by not playing it because the person did something rotten? You can make that argument for all kinds of artists. There are accusations against Elvis. There definitely were against Michael Jackson. Over in England, they talk a lot about Gary Glitter and some charges he had. Cliff Richard had some pretty nasty allegations against him. Probably not so relevant in the US, but over there it's a big deal because Cliff Richard is kind of the British Elvis Presley, if you will. And there are a lot of artists who have been brought up on charges or found guilty of charges and done time, like Rick James, for some pretty gnarly stuff. So, again, you can separate the music from the artist and continue to play the music and not even worry about it. Another school of thought is kind of the cancel culture thing, where it's like, okay, well, because the individual did this thing or has been accused of this thing, we should boycott all of the music and other art that's associated with them. You know, I try to be, I guess, almost culturally sensitive, like I would be with a religious audience or something. There are certain things you just don't do because you don't want to offend the audience. I try to feel that way about a lot of this music. Now, having said that, I've played Michael Jackson. I've played R. Kelly recently. But they were requested. And that's what I do. I don't play these songs by these artists by default unless they're requested. And truth be told, I don't play a lot of R. Kelly. The only R. Kelly song that I really play is Step in the Name of Love, if they want to hear a stepping song and they request it specifically, and I play it. But otherwise, I'm not dropping R. Kelly tunes. These songs do not make or break my events, anything by R. Kelly, really, unless it's an event where they want a lot of stepping, in which case, yeah, you got to play it. But that's me. I know a lot of DJs out there play a lot of R. Kelly, like he's a staple, and you always play it. I don't know. What you do with this is up to you. But I do think it's important to be aware of it. You know? Just be aware of it. And even if you're the kind of person that may not be a cancel culture type who says you need to separate the artist from the music, it might not be a bad idea to lay off the R. Kelly for a minute, especially while the story's hot, and then go back to R. Kelly later. But whatever you do ultimately is up to you. This is a judgment call on your part. I don't believe that myself personally, I don't think I need to necessarily be the moral cop on stuff. As long as the songs can be played on the radio and the FCC is okay with them, I play them regardless as to who sang them. Having said that, I try to use a little bit of common sense. You know? Like WAP. I don't play that at school dances because I'm not an idiot. And maybe, let's just say that I played R. Kelly regularly at events. I try to find something else to play in place of that for a minute until this kind of blows over, but that's me. Alright? And what's interesting about it is, when the whole Michael Jackson thing popped, and I mean, it popped a couple times. They did a documentary a few years ago, and some people were on board with this, some people said it was false, whatever, but it was controversial. There for a minute, few months anyway, I thought to myself, you know, maybe I should lay off the Billie Jean and Thriller unless it's specifically requested, and I did. And you know what? I found plenty of other songs that I could fill my time with at events. Billie Jean and Thriller were not making or breaking my events. There's plenty of music out there, and as a DJ, I think we should at least be able to figure out what to use as substitutes with songs like that. It makes us better at what we do, and it's also like a discovery thing where we learn new things about songs that maybe we would normally play that we're playing in place of some of this stuff. But whatever you do isn't wrong. I just think it's important to be aware of it. It's happening. It's a big news story. We're going to be hearing about it for a minute. So take that information and do what you will with it. That's my take on it. Anyway, thanks so much for watching, guys. I really appreciate you so much. Stay tuned for more videos this week. They're coming. Thanks for watching. Practice and enjoy.